Hello, my name is Linda Prezioso. I'm a nurse practitioner at Family Medical, Horizon Medical, and the Essential Health MediSpa. And I've got so many hats that half the time I don't know if I'm coming, going, or who I am. But I've been struggling through, and I'm getting there. I gotta take this sweater off. It's hot.
It's a little warm in here this evening, isn't it? Yeah.
So anyway, welcome. This is Here's to Your Good Health. I've got Linda Harris. She's my friend, and we collaborate a lot together, and we refer back and forth to each other. And so I asked her, she's been on my show once before, and we only got about through half of what we thought we should talk about. So she's on again tonight, but we're going to do something a little bit different. She's going to interview me for a little while. So if you all have any questions for me that you want Linda to ask me, give me a call, 407-1111. It is May 22nd, so we are live tonight, 407-1111. So welcome, Miss Linda.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. How's your show going?
It's going good. I'm getting used to it now. I think tonight, sometimes you guys tell me I talk a little too fast. Tonight, I think I was talking fast.
Oh.
But I made it through. I'm feeling like that 30 minutes. I'm afraid to move it to an hour, but 30 minutes I fill up quick. But I think I'm doing well, trying to get some good information out there. And,
That's
and all.
yeah.
So
it's all about education.
it is. That's exactly
all
right.
about teaching people
want to show everybody, give them options, and let them know what's going on out there.
Yes,
really,
and
for real.
and they really have to. We need to educate them, because people all they think about is, does insurance pay for it?
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
And a lot of this alternative care and wellness and taking care of yourself, no, insurance doesn't pay for it. And so, but sometimes you just have to say, I am worth it. I am worth finding out the ins and the outs of who I am, what my body is, what's in my body, what I need to do to take care of my body. Because you're a medical doctor, and I'm one. I've got 1,000 patients of my own, and we don't, in the current medical setting, there is not enough time to do all that. There's not enough time to explain all the ins and outs, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. And the medical model is insurance driven. So whatever the insurance company wants for you is what's going to happen. Not what I want for you, but what your insurance company wants. Because I can write a drug which I think is the best drug for your particular problem. If the insurance doesn't want to pay for it, they won't. It's as simple as that. And I can order tests that I think are pertinent to making a diagnosis for you and making sure that I know exactly what's going on. And they might say yes, and they might say no. So, I understand we all have insurance, and I understand we want to use that, and it's a benefit. I get all that. I've got insurance myself, and I use insurance when I go see my providers. So I understand. But I also do a lot of alternative, like Linda offers thermography. Well, I've had thermography, and the first time I had it was on my breasts, and the first time I had it, there was a questionable spot, and so I had to repeat it in 6 months, and thank God it was all okay. So, but I believe in this stuff. I don't push stuff I don't believe in. I believe in taking care of your diabetes and your blood pressure and your cholesterol. I do. I get all that, and I'm happy to do that. But I think if we can focus more on what's really important and figure out a way how to pay for some of that, then I think we're just better off.
I agree with you. I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I get that same thing when people will call me on the other end, on the natural side, and they'll say, well, or if I'm working with a client, they say, well, my insurance doesn't cover that. And oftentimes something that I can give them or provide for them will benefit them so much, but they don't want to do it if the insurance is not going to cover it. And I try to tell them, look, how much is it costing you in 1 month's time to go twice to get a pedicure and your nails done?
Oh yeah, or
you know what?
Or that
Skip
package
that.
of cigarettes,
or the coffee every day. I'm amazed at how much coffee costs every day. It's crazy.
Yes.
Well, since I'm going to interview you a little bit and ask you all kinds of questions, let me start because you talked about your thermography.
Yes.
And actually, it was a 3-month follow-up that you had to come to, but we kind of stretched it to like 4, remember, because you were like, I don't know. But anyway, yours did come back better. And you, because you made a lifestyle change. Remember, you decided to get rid of the sugars. You were I know you remember. Why do I say remember? But you're the one that told me. Well, I started eating better. I tried to get rid of the sugars as much as possible, and I did things different. And that's
increased my exercise.
Made that. Yes,
Yep.
That increase in exercise made your lymphatics work better and drain better and clean out.
That's right.
And your scan. When I looked at yours, I'm not the physician that reads it. I'm not allowed to read them, but I did know when I looked at it after you left and I compared it that hey, this looks a lot better. And so I was in hopes and felt like the doctors were going to give you a good report, and they did. They said the lifestyle changes you had done had really improved things.
Right.
And so you had a really good, experience with that.
Yes. And it was eye-opening for me because I consider myself pretty healthy all in all. I eat pretty well for the most part, but I had a real sugar addiction. We all got a sugar addiction. But I had to, after a meal, sometimes 2 meals a day, I had to have a little, like I could do 1 bite-sized piece of candy, and that was enough to take care of my sugar, know. But that's still, it's not a lot, but it was too much for me, And
sometimes we don't even realize the sugars that's in our foods that we're eating.
That's
anyway.
right. That's right.
So that's true.
A lot of hidden sugars, and those I haven't really focused on. I focused more as far as the sugar of not eating that bite-sized piece of candy, not eating a piece of cake, and I would make a slice of cake last me 4 to 5 days. I mean, I only took a bite or two. It wasn't like I had a piece of cake every day. But, it's just empty calories, and I don't need them.
It is. And you know what? Because you wear all those hats, and I know you, and sometimes it's late by the time you ever get home and do stuff, when you're eating that late anyway, that's not good either.
No, I know.
That's not good either.
I
have that same problem sometimes.
Yeah, I got home last night late, and, it wasn't that late, but by the time I cooked and ate, it was probably 6:30 or 7 o'clock. And I made chicken and rice, so it wasn't, terrible, but after
Still,
I ate,
that
rice just sat like a lump in my stomach.
I know.
I felt yucko.
And you know what I try to teach people? I'm fixing to start interviewing in a minute, but I want to make this comment. What I try to teach people about that is that's why we could just talk and have a show forever. I try to teach them that, our body has to go through this process to digest this food.
Yes.
And so if we, at bedtime, if our body's still going through that process, it's just completely overworking because when we are at rest, is when our body does the most healing and repairing.
Right.
And it can't do that
if
correctly
it's still busy.
if it's doing something else.
That's
and that's
right.
what I tell them.
Yeah, that's right. It's true. Yeah.
So let's interview.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
All right, Miss. And probably everybody else might know more about you than I know because I've not known you as long, just maybe almost 2 years now, I guess.
What
Year and
it
a
is?
half, 2 years, something like that.
Okay.
So it's been an adventure for sure, and we've learned all sorts of things. But
the good, the bad, and the ugly. What can I say? That's life, right?
It is. But so tell me a little bit. I'm gonna go away from your little doctor's office. I want you to tell me a little bit more about your Essential Health, the Essential Health Medi Spa, and the hormones, because for me, I have so many clients that come for hormone therapy, and as a woman, I know I experience things with hormones and hormone issues, and it's part of the whole endocrine system and everything else as well, not just our female sex hormones.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about that and what you do.
Okay, well, because I'm a nurse practitioner at a family practice, I had a lot of women that came and they had all these symptoms of menopause, and it's not just hot flashes. It's brain fog. It's brittle bones. testosterone helps with your osteoporosis and your osteopenia, and it helps with your heart health, and that's a known fact in the medical, but there's no way to get it, other than they don't have testosterone therapy for women because that's a male sex hormone. That's the way the medical.
That's how they look at it.
Yes.
So I know, and I've done so many studies on it, and we have some of all of it, but it's like, it's some taboo to talk about or whatever.
And it's not. So anyway, I had all these women coming and complaining, and I got very frustrated because I got stories from their OB. I mean, they think that they're depressed, so they give them an antidepressant. We're not depressed.
Always,
We've got medical issues.
That's right.
Stemming from the changes in our body. So
and not only the changes in our body. On my side of it with health practitioner, it's not, or nature, just the changes in our body. It's the certain foods and things and what they have in them that affect those hormones and have made it worse.
Because there's lots of food that has estrogen in it, and we need to stay away from that because you can get too much. So anyway, I decided that I was going to look into bioidentical hormone therapy for women because it's all natural, and I'm not going to write for a synthetic hormone drug. I won't do it because I don't think they're safe. That's me. I don't have a problem if you go somewhere else and somebody else writes it for you. That's good, but I'm not going to do it. So I took 2 different certifications on hormone therapy so I could learn more about it, and then there's 2 different ways to go. You can go with creams. You can get a compounded cream. I normally use Patrick from Ward Specialty Pharmacy, and that's a saliva test. I have the saliva tests in my office. Those are sent to Oregon, and they're evaluated, and then you can get your cream based on those results. Myself in the past, and they will help with the symptoms, and I'm not 100% sure if it's going to help with some of the things that the pellets help with. I'm not going to say it doesn't. I just don't know.
As far as replenishing some of the things that we need. Is that what you're talking
about?
Well,
and just the benefits of testosterone for brain fog. And because some of his patients don't even get testosterone. They only get the estrogen.
So that's what I was fixing to ask you. In the creams, do they not put the testosterone?
They do. Test that is sent off to Oregon.
Okay.
And so I do that, and I'm happy to do that for any patient if that's the way they want to go. When they come to the MediSpa and talk to me, I tell them pretty much what I'm telling you, that, we have this way to go, and then we have the pellet therapy. And I started pellet therapy myself about 2 years ago after I met she's now my mentor, but she has a clinic in Wilmington. So she was really very helpful in telling me about it and pointing me to the certification and that kind of thing. So I went to Atlanta and got certified in BioT therapy. And that is, it's all natural. The estrogen and testosterone is made from plants. It's made from soy and yams. So even if you've had cancer, these are safe for you. That, that's a decision you have to make yourself. I'm not going to push it, but you can. And so then I started with the MediSpa and doing both therapies. Personally, I think the pellet therapy, the creams are made to just keep you like this, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the pellets, you are optimized, so you go up a notch. And I think that I know personally with that pellet therapy, I tell everybody we have one foot in the grave, and I'm still going to get my pellets before I will have pellets in my derriere when I go to meet Jesus.
Well, I've been reading a lot of information. Well, I'm a researcher. I love it. I said on my show earlier, if I could stay up 24/7 and just learn, I love to learn. I've always been that way. I've always loved books. I've loved research, and I just do more and more of it. But one of the things that I have been reading about too, for many years they thought when women, hit like 60 or so that they didn't need hormones anymore.
Yeah.
And the research is showing that we need that hormone and hormone replacement if we're lacking it on up past 70s or more.
Yeah.
I've looked at the research, at the studies, and you know that and it is beneficial to us. Actually, it's detrimental to us, I think, to our health
if we don't
not
have
to
it.
do that.
Yes, I think you're right. I think you're right, because there's so many benefits, and part of all this hormone therapy though is eating right too.
It is.
It really is. You know, like I just spent $575 for an eighth of a steer that is farm raised, and that beef will last me a year. I don't eat a lot of beef.
I heard about that. I didn't know that he sold the beef that way. I had someone get that from. Someone put my name on his list to be able to get some of that, because that's how he used to buy it.
He's got a list. But you need, I don't know how much you eat, but I mean, I split with another couple.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So we buy a quarter of it, and then we split that amongst ourselves. And that's...
Yeah, we're talking about beef that is, you know,
farm-raised.
It's farm-raised.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
Right
hormones in it,
That's
anything
right.
else. It's
That's right.
local. That's what you should be eating is local. That's better, more like where you're at anyway. We learned that years ago in herbs and medicinal things, that the things that grow in your area or the things
like
that are
honey.
raised in your area.
You've got to eat local honey for the health benefits.
That benefits you. Have you ever, you know, this is one thing we do that's so bad, as Americans anyway, I don't know if they do it anywhere else. You know, there's many reasons it's bad. One of the reasons is because, you know, it's killing people. We're spraying Roundup, and look what they've discovered about Roundup. Yet I still see it on the shelves. I just can't figure out what's going on about that. But then our body is absorbing. I do those bioscans, and we all are so full of glyphosates. And you can do things to try to rid your body of that. But the other thing is, we're killing those what we call weeds. But do you know how many weeds are food?
Oh yeah,
food.
Yeah.
I love to. I'm my husband.
I've got
I tell
a
him
book
do
on
not
that.
spray anything in my backyard. I'll go pull dandelions out and put on my salad and make tea with them or do whatever. And when something grows in your area, it's because that's what's needed in your area. It was put there for us for that reason. So it's interesting, isn't it, how, you know, when we find out so much about the different foods
we
and
got to
things.
take our first break.
Okay.
We could just talk forever. These two Lindas here, blah, 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 blah. Got a little word vomit going on. Anyway, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors, and we'll talk more about hormone therapy and eating naturally and taking care of yourself, so don't go away.
Looking for a nursing position that has the benefits of a large hospital, but a culture where you're more than just a number? At UNC Health Nash, you can get both. Take advantage of great benefits, including signing bonuses up to $25,000, student loan forgiveness, and much more. Plus, gain valuable frontline experience in an organization that prioritizes nurses' feedback. Apply today at nashnursing.com and discover how you can get big city benefits at this small town hospital.
We're in our 18th year of practice at the Hammer Chiropractic Center, and we've seen over 15,000 different people in the Rocky Mount area. 40% of headaches actually come from a neck problem. Many patients come in taking multiple aspirin, over-the-counter medications and such a day, and we can get you to stop doing that and actually fix the problem so the headaches don't arise anymore. A lot of people think chiropractic hurts. It does not. Most of the people come in and they feel great when they leave.
Are you tired of disappointing your partner? Do you feel less than adequate? Primary Care Urgent Care of Nashville is introducing a revolutionary treatment for sexual dysfunction. You can restore the pleasure between you and your partner with a non-invasive and effective treatment with lasting results. This procedure is a quick 15-minute in-office treatment with no topical anesthetic and no recovery time. Call 252-676-6792 for a consultation about this revolutionary non-invasive treatment today. Primary Care of Nashville is now accepting new patients.
Harper's Garden and Stone Center, your one-stop shop for all your gardening and landscaping needs. All you need is your imagination, and Harper's Garden and Stone Center can supply the materials to make the job the success you want it to be. We have flowers, plants, trees, decorative stones, slate or flagstone. Enjoy the nice spring weather with Paulie's Island Furniture and our Wilmington Grills. Also visit Wendy's Hole in the Wall Boutique and shop for the whole family. Shoes, Vera Bradley bags, and Simply Southern apparel. Harper's Garden and Stone Center, located at 2145 Oak Level Road, open Monday through Saturday, rain or shine.
Hey there, welcome back. This is Here's to Your Good Health. My name is Linda Prezioso. I'm here with Linda Harris, and we're just talking. Two friends that have a lot of the same health passion, and we're just talking about stuff. So Linda's interviewing me.
Yes.
So this is your chance as the audience. If you have a question about me, you've been dying to ask, this is the time to do it. 407-1111. This is May 22nd, and I'm live tonight, so give me a buzz if you want to know anything. Or if you have a question,
Yeah.
or if you have a comment. It doesn't, we love to hear from you. We love to know what you're thinking and what you need in your life. So
what
just
you're
give us a-
interested in, yeah.
Yeah.
I decided to turn the tables on Linda. I said, look, she asked me to be on the show. I said, yeah, let me be on the show and interview you, because she's always interviewing other people and talking to them. I'm like, well, let's interview you. It's
Yeah.
good practice for me, and it's good for her. So, we can find out from a different thing. But if there's something you want to know, give us a call, because I'll ask her that too, or you can ask her. Well, we were talking about the hormones and the benefits of them and everything.
Yes.
We were talking about food and how much that can help. I want to go back to the pellets for just a minute.
Okay.
So I remember, and I meant to ask you this earlier when you were saying that. I heard one lady say that she did the pellets, and I forget how long you have to go. Is it different for each person? How
It
long
is,
before you
yeah.
have those reinserted?
It's different because it's they're metabolized by your cardiac output.
Okay.
So if you're a big exerciser or a big runner,
Mine will last forever.
it's usually
Yeah.
3 to 4 months.
Okay.
It can
Yeah.
it can be a little bit less than 3 months. I have not had a client that was less than 3 months, and you can go up to 6 months. But I've found, and most of my clients have found, they try to stretch it so they don't have to pay so much.
Yeah.
But when they do that, then it takes a while for them to get back up to where they need to be.
And that was where I was leading with my
Yeah.
question, because
Yeah.
I think this particular person had told me when they did it, they were waiting longer, and that's what they explained to me. Well, it kind of just wears way off, and you
Yeah.
got to start over.
Yeah.
But so if you're doing it like every 3 or 4 months, do you test for that to know how low they are,
I
or
don't.
what happens with
I
that?
don't test every time. BioT says you should. I kind of think that you know how you feel.
We do know how we feel, don't we?
And so if you feel good and feel like this was beneficial and it has helped you, then I test once a year. If you call me and say, I don't feel anything, this is not working, I don't feel like you did anything, then we'll retest. So it's kind of an individual, determination.
So the pellets themselves, you're testing them, so they're.
No,
are
I
they-
don't-
You don't
don't
test
test
for
the
pellets.
pellets.
They just automatically
This
have.
is all serum. This
Okay.
is blood draw for your, that's what I test.
Okay.
But no, I don't test the
So
pellets.
each person gets the same kind of pellet, or are they each different?
Well, I have different strengths.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting
Yeah,
at. Yeah.
yeah. So, some people, like men, for instance, they get all testosterone, and they need anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams of testosterone, and they come in 100 milligram tablets. So,
Yeah, so it's got to be.
so they get a lot more. So
Yeah.
their fee is a little bit more than
Yeah.
a female. Most women, I think the highest I've done for a woman is 175, and the lowest I've done for a woman is 25. That's all based on your blood test. So it's not a one size fits all.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Right.
Is I guess you send the blood test off and have that checked, and
Correct.
then it's done.
And the BioT, the company I work for, has a computer, and so I plug in all the numbers in my computer, and then it pops up and tells me what you need.
Okay.
I actually just found somebody the other day that has Hashimoto's thyroiditis.
Oh,
And she's got acquired hypothyroidism. So now I'm treating her for that.
Yeah.
So on top of the pellets. So,
Exactly, yeah.
So because thyroid is a hormone.
It
so
is,
that
yeah.
is tested too.
So many people don't realize everything that's involved in everybody always thinks male hormones, female hormones, but they don't understand that the whole endocrine system is all about the hormones that help our body function the way that
Right,
it needs to.
right.
So
Serotonin
that's good.
and all that.
Yeah,
It all makes a difference.
exactly.
And your adrenal glands and cortisol, and
Yep.
it gets to be
You
pretty
know, at
complex.
the end of last year, and on a little bit after, but it was starting to get better. I was suffering from adrenal exhaustion because
yeah.
I was just doing too much, and I knew that, but I wouldn't stop because I'm trying to run a business and take care.
We're the
We're our worst patients.
Yes,
That we
yes,
sure are.
yes.
Exactly. But because we're so passionate about trying to help other people, but the good Lord knows what to do. He got me sick because he knew that when I took my time off in December, I usually take a holiday at the end of the year. So I took I took 3 weeks off, which is more than I usually do. But he knew I wasn't going to stop working just because I wasn't seeing clients. I was still going to be. You know what? I got sick with something on Christmas Eve, and 2.5 weeks I was in bed. Now for me to be in bed, that's pretty rough because
you
I'm
must
never in
have been
bed.
sick.
But you know what? After that, and I got rest and everything, my adrenal exhaustion. It improved a lot then, and then finally it got to where my adrenals were not showing,
Right,
so
right,
drained,
right.
By doing
Yeah.
things. So I feel
And that's
fully
part of
energy
your
these
hormones
days.
too.
It is. That's
Yes,
exactly
ma'am.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
That's exactly right. Well, let's see. So I know you do the hormone therapy. You do essential oils because I know you guys were talking about that on your show last week.
That's right.
Are there any other things that you do as far as the Medi-Spa? I know you're involved in so many things in the community. And look, that's important too. In the business community, that's still part of the community. I heard today we had a new member at our Rocky Mount Business
Was
Builders.
it Chris Williams?
No, I
Oh.
can't remember her name. But anyway,
Oh, okay.
supposedly you're on the board.
Ripple effects.
Yes, Ripple
Yeah,
Effects.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm on the board.
And I didn't know
Like
that.
I don't
So
have
then
enough
I was-
to do.
That's the first thing I thought when they said that. I thought, man, you're on a lot of boards, because I thought you were on another board too, that or that maybe they had asked you to be on it. So you've got a lot that you do, a lot that's going on as far as that.
I'm passionate about our community, and I'm passionate about community involvement. I think it's important that we are part of our community. That's who I am. Now, the girl that works for me, she's content to stay home all the time. So yeah, it's not right or
Yeah,
wrong. It's
everybody's
just who you
different,
are.
yeah.
And our mutual friend Jean, she's involved in everything under
She
the sun.
sure is. She is the community, right?
Yeah.
She's the leader. That's in a good way, Jean. We know you. That's if you want to know what's going on or need to know anything. I
Ask
always
Jean.
ask Jean
That's exactly
because she
right.
does, and
Yeah.
that's so
Yeah.
good, and
Yeah.
and that's good for her
Yeah.
to do that. And so many people recognize her and know her.
Uh-huh.
So when we first opened the show, and you were talking about the insurance, not paying
Yes, uh-huh.
for the things that are natural, it made me think of something while you were talking, and I think we've personally talked about this before in the past. For me, what I think would be wonderful is if medical doctors and the naturopathic world could come together.
Oh, absolutely.
Because just like you said in your office, there's not, in any medical office, there's doctors, everybody that comes in, I've got a doctor's appointment, it's taken me forever to get in because they're so overworked. I actually read another study and some more information, I think it's about 2 weeks ago, that said within the next 10 years, there are going to be less doctors, that there already are. It's just overwhelming, and they're getting burned out, and some of them are going into corporate groups just to be able to help them out so they can have some time off. But it's almost like they're losing their passion, because they're and the not that they
Do you know
are.
why?
Yes, because of
the
insurance.
Yes.
Exactly, and that bothers me so bad that on one of my
who's
talks,
going to take care of me?
Yeah, that's right. We got to have doctors too, right? So, that's one of the things I said. I don't know if you were there that day, the last talk that I did at the Business Builders thing, but that's one of the things I brought out is stop letting your insurance company dictate your health.
Because those are three-piece suits that probably haven't taken one course in any kind of how to run a medical business. Maybe,
you're right.
But
You're right.
Not,
Well, in anything we have like that, any type of organization or business or anything else, it seems like the people making the decisions over that are the people who are not working in it. They have no idea about it, right?
Amen, sister.
And for the life of me, I can't figure out how the insurance companies are even making money the way they're doing things.
Oh, they may.
I know they do,
because
but I just
they
can't
have
figure it
cut
out.
reimbursement to doctors.
Oh, so
that's
what
why
they're doing.
that's why these single docs and private practices, the reimbursement is so low that and that's why offices will have other modalities for more cash
to bring
come in
more money.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing that I was reading along with that thing that I read was that, and we already know, probably a few people each that do this, that more doctors are turning to concierge care.
Yes.
Because they cannot, they want to be able to treat you, just like
And
you
take
said, you
care
want to
of
be able to
you.
treat your
Yes.
patients the way you
Yes.
need to
Yes.
without the insurance
That's right.
companies dictating. To me, it would just be so wonderful to have, and there's, is it the Mayo Clinic? I believe it is. They literally have people like me who are trained for natural care that aren't licensed doctors that they bring in now to help, so that you've got, because you treat in one way and we don't treat, but we educate and teach, but we will look at something in an entirely different
That's
way.
right.
Let's just say you and I were in an office together. You would look at one side of it, and I might come around at another side and look at it.
And we can merge
and you
it.
bring it
Yes,
together and
yes.
help. We need to do this, people.
You
Why
know
come
what?
that this?
If I was younger,
I know.
I would do that. I really would.
Really? I know,
would,
and it's-
because that's a passion of mine. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
on my way out. I ain't starting. I'm heading out the door.
That's what you keep saying, but it feels like you just working all the time and doing stuff.
Well, I do work
That's
a
the
lot.
passion. That's the
It
passion
is
for
passion.
sure.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see. I don't know what other kind of questions to ask you. See, I'm not used to doing an hour show. Let's see.
Let's see.
Well, so how long have you been a nurse practitioner?
13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been a nurse for over 30 years.
Wow.
I spent 23 years at Nash General. It's now UNC Nash, but it was Nash General in those days. And I started as a nursing assistant, and then I got an LPN, and then I got an
you kept going
RN,
up.
and then I got a BSN, and then I got an MSN, and
What made you want to be a nurse?
I'm going to date myself, I'll tell you.
No, it's okay. Because you're young. Look at you, how beautiful you look.
Oh, yeah, I'm young.
Young at heart.
Young at heart, yes. There was a show, I think in the 70s, called Emergency. And
I
Julie
remember
London
that.
was a nurse. And
Mm-hmm.
that triggered something in me, that she could take care of patients and talk to the doctors and answer the phone with the EMS, and
She did everything, didn't she? I remember that.
And I was a little girl then, and that kind of triggered it for me. That's the first memory I ever can remember of I
Wow.
want to be a nurse.
How about that?
And so then I was stupid and young, and I did not go to nursing school right after high school when my dad could have paid for it for me. Stupid.
You're like me, you can do it all the hard way.
Yes, and so I became a medical office assistant, and I worked in doctors' offices for quite a while, and then I got married and had kids, and so I stayed home for 14 years being a mom,
Yeah.
and that was a good time. I don't regret that. But when my youngest son was in kindergarten, and we were at a crossroads, and we had 3 kids, and my husband didn't make a lot of money. And so, we knew I needed to go to work, and I could go to work, but I didn't have any real skills, and so I would have ended up like, I don't know, working out of sheets or something,
Exactly, yeah.
And so we said, well, we've struggled this long, we'll struggle for 2 more years while I go to nursing school. And so that's what we did. I cleaned houses during nursing school to help pay the tuition,
Yeah.
and that was not fun.
We do.
I'm not a
many
cleaner.
years ago, before my wellness business, many years ago, I'm from Goldsboro originally, and I had a cleaning business.
Uh-huh.
So I've had I've ran 3 businesses, and I've done well with all of them. But I finally, came to a time where it was time to do something different.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing that too, because I was raised by a mom who was a clean freak, and she taught me how to do everything, and I
yeah.
could just go through and do it, and it
Well,
was good to do that for people.
yeah.
Now I want somebody to come clean for me.
I pay for somebody to clean my house. I sure do, and I'll work an extra shift someplace just
I
to
know.
pay her. I will.
In my head, I'll say, okay, can I do if I do an extra massage, I can do
Yeah,
this, or I can
yeah.
do this. That's what we
and
do.
I keep it up during every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
but she does all the hard cleaning for me.
Well, as
So.
women, we've got so much on our plate now that even way back many, many, many years ago was not as much that way. It's always look, just being a stay-at-home mom taking care of children is the biggest full-time. As a matter of fact,
That's
you want
the
a
hardest
break,
job.
the break's going to
Yes.
work. The break's going
Yes.
to work.
So-
So that's a
and
hard
then I
job. But
did.
then put on top of that all the other things that we do.
Yeah.
And it's a lot
Yeah.
for us
Yeah.
to do.
So
It is.
anyway, I went to work at Nash, and I thought that I would stay there till I retired. That was my goal. I loved
Yeah.
the hospital. I worked in various departments. ER was my favorite. I worked there for 13 years, but that's a high-paced, high-intensity, stressful job, and and it's for the young. It's not for the old. That's for sure. And so. Then I went to case management, and I really hated that job. I chose it, and I thought I'd love it. My husband said, "You're going to hate it, Linda." I hate it when he's right. So after I'd been in case management for a few years, I looked at every job, every nursing position at that hospital, whether I was qualified or not.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a daggone thing I wanted to do.
Oh, wow.
And so I threw my hat in the ring for nurse practitioner,
Oh, good for you.
and I got accepted.
Good for you.
Here I am.
I always wanted to be a nurse, and I would have if I could go back and do that and become a nurse practitioner, I would, because it's so beneficial
You
to
could-
some of the
it-
things
yeah,
that I do in
yeah,
my
yeah.
business. But again, like you, life hits you, and other things happened when I was young. I was married at a very young age and had children, and then ended up divorcing, and so I
Yeah.
had to work very
Yeah.
hard for that. But you know what? Thankfully, I'm able, even now at this point in my life, to be able to do the things that I want to do and enjoy them as far as what I want to do as a profession and help other people.
yeah.
And to me, that's just as good. The
Oh,
good
yeah.
Lord brought it around a different
That's
way
right.
and said,
That's right.
here, let's
Yeah,
do
that's
this.
right. All right, it's time for our next break, and when we come back, who knows what we'll talk about. If she's got more questions, I'll answer, and if not, we'll just talk. Don't go away. Watch these sponsors, and if you want to, give us a call, 407-1111. See you in just a minute.
Looking for a nursing position that has the benefits of a large hospital, but a culture where you're more than just a number? At UNC Health Nash, you can get both. Take advantage of great benefits, including signing bonuses up to $25,000, student loan forgiveness, and much more. Plus, gain valuable frontline experience in an organization that prioritizes nurses' feedback. Apply today at nashnursing.com and discover how you can get big city benefits at this small town hospital.
We're in our 18th year of practice at the Hammer Chiropractic Center, and we've seen over 15,000 different people in the Rocky Mount area. 40% of headaches actually come from a neck problem. Many patients come in taking multiple aspirin, over-the-counter medications and such a day, and we can get you to stop doing that and actually fix the problem so the headaches don't rise anymore. A lot of people think chiropractic hurts. It does not. Most of the people come in and they feel great when they leave.
Are you tired of disappointing your partner? Do you feel less than adequate? Primary Care Urgent Care of Nashville is introducing a revolutionary treatment for sexual dysfunction. You can restore the pleasure between you and your partner with a non-invasive and effective treatment with lasting results. This procedure is a quick 15-minute in-office treatment with no topical anesthetic and no recovery time. Call 252-676-6792 for a consultation about this revolutionary non-invasive treatment today. Primary Care of Nashville is now accepting new patients.
Harper's Garden and Stone Center, your one-stop shop for all your gardening and landscaping needs. All you need is your imagination, and Harper's Garden and Stone Center can supply the materials to make the job the success you want it to be. We have flowers, plants, trees, decorative stones, slate or flagstone. Enjoy the nice spring weather with Paulie's Island Furniture and our Wilmington Grills. Also visit Wendy's Hole in the Wall Boutique and shop for the whole family. Shoes, Vera Bradley bags, and Simply Southern apparel. Harper's Garden and Stone Center, located at 2145 Oak Level Road, open Monday through Saturday, rain or shine.
Hi there, welcome back. This is Here's Your Good Health. I'm Linda Prezioso with Linda Harris. And we've been interviewing me, so you're
That's
finding
right.
out all sorts of stuff about me. I cleaned houses when I was in nursing school, and I've been a nurse for a long time, and I'm very active in the community, and I'm on a board, the Ripple Effects, and
Yeah, you do all sorts of things. You know, I just thought, right when you were saying that, something came to mind. I've got a good friend that's been retired from being a nurse for many, many years, and she doesn't think she'll ever go back into anything, so she says she's going to let her license lapse now.
Tell her
And
no.
I've told her and told her and told her, so we're both telling you,
Yes,
don't
don't
that.
do it.
Please don't.
no, because I'm
You know-
probably going to need some help shortly, and I need a licensed professional.
And plus, you've worked so hard for that. You've worked so hard
Girl,
for your...
when I passed
Yeah.
those boards, I made a vow to myself, I will never not pay this until the day I die.
That's how I feel with my certifications and
I
things.
mean,
it's too much
it's-
time and energy. Yeah.
And and I don't know about your certifications, but I can tell you, RN, if you let it lapse, sometimes you got to start all over
All
with school.
over.
And oh no.
Yeah, it's not like you have to go back to the very beginning, but you've got to go back to school to redo
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
And
It is that way. With some of my licenses and certifications, they're the same
Yeah.
way, and some of them,
Yeah.
you know, you can just do an online test, but the most important licenses and things, you know, we do have to do that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you another question because we were talking about food and the hormones and things. Do you educate your clients on that too when they're coming to you?
I don't. That's something I need to start incorporating.
Yeah,
And I just listened to a really interesting podcast on that, and I'm going to look her up and look on this teacher's website. She's English, I think, you know.
Okay.
The English and Europeans have really got it together much more with natural hormone therapy than the Americans do.
Yeah, they do. And you know,
They're
what
always
else?
10 years
Yeah.
ahead of us.
Well, exactly. And do you know what else about that is they're you know, we have our FDA. I guess maybe it's called the FDA there. It's probably called something different.
Yeah, I don't
but do you
think
know
it's the
things
FDA.
that are approved for us to take into our bodies or for us to do?
They don't approve.
They wouldn't approve it there because they know
It's
the side
poison.
effects and the poison and all the
Yes.
other things.
Yes, all
so
the
that
chemicals.
tells you a lot. I'm afraid we're going to get a call from some government agent after the show. But
Well,
we're just giving you information
y'all,
that we know. You
that's
can
right.
look that up yourself
And if they take
research
us
it.
away, please somebody come and bail us
Yeah, bail
out.
us out. But you know, that's again what I say is so important for us to know for ourselves
Yeah.
and not let someone dictate to us.
Well, you know, when people say, I'll say, do you drink any caffeine, coffee, tea, soda? Well, I drink diet soda. Like, that's better? No. I'd rather,
worse.
yeah,
It's
I'd rather
worse.
see you drink the
Yeah.
sugar than the chemicals.
Yeah, well, because our body, at least if you're having sugar, the body knows what it is, even if it's bad for you. But if it's the artificial sugars or something that's supposed to be like sugar, unless it's a plant that's
Right.
a sweetener,
Like
you know,
stevia, yeah.
which I'm growing in my garden this year, I'm excited about.
Oh.
But then your body cannot process
That's right.
it, and then
That's
that
right.
causes other
Yep.
issues.
Yep.
So, I mean,
And
you can go on and on with that.
They're doing autopsies now, and even with like the COVID shot, it's leaving a rubbery, waxy substance in our organs that, what do you call those people that cut bodies up? What are they?
I lost my
Autopsy?
word. Yeah,
well,
they're doing the autopsy.
Yeah, they've never seen it in all the years of doing autopsy.
And in the blood vessels too. There's this like stretchy
Stringy,
plastic, like
plasticky,
in there.
yeah.
And they know. A friend of mine, she's got a sister who works up in Raleigh doing autopsies, and she told her, she said, look, before we ever we cannot look at their paper and cut them open, and we know if they had the COVID shot. I just briefly mentioned that on my show before, all the studies and the things that are coming out.
Yeah, they're coming out right and
Yeah,
left
and
now.
isn't it interesting, that they gave, I forget which two companies it was, but they gave two of the companies, I forget what they call it, but where you cannot sue them regardless to what happens. And isn't that a shame? It's a shame. It's
It
just
is
how
what
it
it
is.
is.
But there are a couple of the other companies are being sued that didn't have that coverage from the government because so much has come out about that and what's in those shots. And in general, it's sad that we
Yeah.
have to worry about those things.
So that's why we profess, that's why I try to grow my own vegetables. I'm getting green beans, girl. I'll have to bring you some. I'm getting sick of green beans already.
Well, you can bring me some.
Yeah.
I love green beans.
I need to harvest them again tomorrow before I go to the beach. I'll probably bring them to the beach with me. So,
Yeah.
I try to grow my own vegetables, or I know the farmers at the farmers market. Some of them, they go to the farmers market in Raleigh and get their stuff, and I don't trust that.
Yeah.
But if there's lots of local farmers, Zebulon, Nashville, Tarboro, that come, and it'll say Wren Farm or whatever. And that's where I get my corn and my strawberries, and and I'm not sure how much poison they put on it, though, really, to tell you the
Well,
truth.
and that's why I tell people, we never know 100%, but if you get to know your local farmers and talk to them, you can tell how passionate they are about the natural, and you can learn from other people who are the best ones to buy from. And that's what I'm planning, because I can't grow everything.
No,
So
of
I've
course
got my
not.
garden that I'm growing.
And you can't
I'll be
grow
doing
everything in your garden either
Well,
for everything you want.
that's exactly
And
right.
especially like if you
So-
put in a cucumber plant, girl, you'll be making pickles till next year.
because I put one in. I've never grown
I've got a
cucumbers
great pickle.
before.
I've got a great pickle.
Oh, I
recipe.
might need to get that for
It's
you,
really
and I'm
good.
going to have to start sharing cucumbers. But I used to never eat cucumbers. I never liked them.
I like 'em.
Just by themselves growing up. But I've always liked them pickled. But this year I thought, you know what? Let me grow some cucumbers.
I like 'em
and
in
just
salad,
try that.
sliced
Yeah,
cucumber.
I do too.
Or
There's-
just take some ranch dressing and
Exactly,
dip
but I
it.
want to be able to. I'm gonna can this year. I've got a
we
dehydrator
talked
I've never
about that.
used. I'm gonna
Yep,
do that.
yep.
So I plan on not only using what I'm growing, but the things I'm not able to grow right now because I've
Yeah.
got such a busy schedule. I'm gonna go buy from local farmers
Right.
that I know or know the
Yeah.
reputation, and I'm gonna.
I
do
always
those
can
things.
tomatoes and
Yeah.
make my own sauce and that kind of thing. Can my sauce because, you buy that jarred sauce and the first ingredients is sugar.
You're right. That's the first thing that's listed. I used to do some canning the old-fashioned way, but I've got one of those fancy canners, and I'm almost afraid to use it. But I've got to do it. I'm going to do
I
it and
know.
get going. I think it's
know.
important for us to store up the storehouses,
Yes,
as
that's
we were
right.
instructed many
That's
years
right.
ago. We
That's
have to be
right.
prepared.
That's a biblical.
Yeah, I had someone recently I was talking to about that, and I was like, we need to be prepared and be saving things up for things to come in the future. Well, the good Lord's going to take care of me. Well, I know, but He gave you common sense
Yeah,
too to
yeah,
help you,
yeah.
know
He's
how to
going
go
take
do
care of
these
you
things.
because you're going to be smart and put that
That's
stuff in your
exactly
freezer
right.
or in your pantry.
That's exactly right.
So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about canning this year because my ex-husband, we always had to, I did all the prep work and filled the jars, and then he worked the canner.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have to learn how to work the canner. I'm scared to
I
death of
know.
it, but I'm like you.
I'm
going to
do
do
that
it.
too, but
Yeah,
there are
I'm gonna
videos
do
out.
it.
YouTube can tell you anything, and
Well, that's true.
you just got to make sure you're following the right
The
people.
canner I have was my mom's.
Oh, you told me that.
Yes, and so it's probably as old as I am,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty daggone old.
Yeah.
So I don't
Well,
know.
it's probably gonna work better than my brand new fancy one.
It
then.
might.
Yeah,
it
I bet
might.
you.
Yeah,
the old-fashioned
but
way.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so I'll have to YouTube it and figure it out. So yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could remember her name. There's a lady that I started following because it's been so many years since I canned. So I started following this lady a little bit. To
Yeah,
look
I've
at some
got a
of her
Facebook
stuff.
group I follow.
Yeah, and it is good because one person can't know everything, but it's good to learn.
That's
from.
exactly right.
What would be neat is to have a big canning party where you've got
Yes.
several people
Yeah.
that will come in and pitch
Right.
in and help. And
But it's a lot of work peeling
It
those
is.
tomatoes, and I
Yeah.
get tired thinking about it. But to me, it's the benefits are worth it.
it is. I agree.
So that's
I
why
can't
do
wait
it.
to just open up my little stuff and see canned food all in there that I know is fresh and good, that not one thing bad has
Well,
been
and
put on it.
I do, like I make a pot of beans. I can't make a small pot.
Yeah,
There's certain
you can only
soup.
make- yeah.
I can only make big pots. So then I've been
Yeah.
canning that because you can freeze it,
You
but
can do it different ways, yeah.
I'll be on my way home from work and say, "Oh, I want that split pea soup." Well, if it's
Yeah.
frozen, you ain't gonna eat that till tomorrow, but if it's canned, it's
Then
just
you
like
can just open it
I
up,
just
yeah.
open it up and heat it up in the pan and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've done a lot of that too.
And one of the things I've noticed too is that the younger generational moms and people are beginning to can
Yeah.
again. They're learning to. Groceries are so expensive.
I know.
I was doing a little bit of pruning yesterday. I told my husband, I said, look, we can we can put these in the soil and have more. We don't have to buy any more, tomato plants or things like that. We can root those and have more, and we might can have enough tomatoes for the whole town. Who knows? All that pruning I had to do.
Yeah, I know. Well, I love tomatoes, and
Me too.
there ain't nothing better than the tomato sandwich. With Miracle Whip, I am not a Duke's mayonnaise girl. I'll just go ahead and tell you.
Well, I like tomatoes with Hellman's mayonnaise.
Okay.
And mustard. You cannot eat a tomato sandwich without some mustard on it.
Okay.
It
Well,
is
there
so
you go.
good. You got to try that. It's good for you. Well, mustard's good for you.
I
actually.
like
There's
mustard.
A lot of benefits to that
I
too.
don't eat much ketchup. The only time I really eat ketchup is if I have French fries, which I don't eat very often.
And I've got to where if I do have something like that, more like we'll do like the little cut up fried potatoes. We make our own, and I don't even put ketchup on anymore. Again, sugar. That's
Yeah.
what's up there listed first.
Yeah,
Pretty much
yeah,
is sugar.
Yeah.
So trying to eliminate those
Yeah.
things. To
I
keep ourselves
made
healthy.
my own mustard, which was really simple. But then if you read the labels on a mustard, there's nothing in it. But it's all the stuff that makes the mustard. There's no added ingredients.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, why am I doing this? I need to learn how to make ketchup, but I just don't eat enough ketchup to. Sometimes I like it on a burger, but
Oh yeah.
usually I put steak sauce
You know what
on
I
my
don't
burger.
like talking about burgers and ketchup is we've got this favorite place we go to get hamburgers and hot dogs every once in a while because every once in a while you got to have a really good one.
Oh, yeah.
And they put so much the bread sliding all over and it
know.
only takes a little bit. It tastes good. You don't have to have the whole thing covered.
Yeah,
That's one of
yeah.
my pet peeves about a
Yeah.
hamburger, and I don't eat that many of them, but when I do, I want it to.
I usually take the top bun off, and then of course I have to
Yeah.
cut it. But yeah, I'm not. I try to stay away from a lot of bread.
Yeah, and that's one of the best ways to do it. I just had one of my clients who were talking about what she was eating, and she said, "Well, I did a sandwich, like one of the sub sandwiches, and I cut it in half, and then one half was for another meal or another day, and then one half was, and then I took that half of that bread off. So she really only had a half a piece of bread for her sandwich,
Yeah.
and little things like that,
Make
just
a
little
difference.
teeny
They can
changes
add up to
will
make a
add up to a
difference.
lot
Yep.
of different things.
Yep, you're right.
Have we got another minute?
We got one more minute.
Okay, 1 minute. You did, is it all right if I share that? What we did for this?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Linda did Verjus with me for the inch loss, and tell them what your results were.
I lost a pant size.
Yeah.
These pants I got on are about falling off.
And
And
it's exciting, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Verjus is it's something that is good for you because it's healing and repairing your fat cells.
And I got plenty of them. Not as many as I used to.
That's right. And so you can tell a difference. And you had the 6 series version. That's the minimal, and I have a lot of people that'll do up to the 12.
I'm
and
probably
lose another pound
I'm
size.
probably gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a lot on my plate right now.
I know
so.
you do. That's all right.
And I had a hard time making those appointments. I'm telling you, I missed one, totally forgot about it.
It was all right.
It worked
It was
out.
all right. It sure
you,
did.
You didn't need to be there anyway.
That's right.
'cause
I
you-
was having trouble with my blood pressure
Yeah,
that day.
that's
and
right.
I normally
That's
don't.
right.
I had quit drinking my hibiscus tea.
Well.
So I'm back now.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching. It is time for us to go. And so I will see you next week with more of Here's to Your Good Health. Y'all have a great Memorial weekend. I'm going to the beach. I'm excited. I'm leaving Friday, and I won't be home till Monday. So I'm super stoked. I need some rest, and I'm not going to have my Medi-Spa open on Friday.
Good
so
for you.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
for
just
you.
taking it all off. So, and I'm going with 4 other nurses that we've been friends for 30 years. So
That's so good. Girls' time away.
that's right. Girls'
You
time
need that
away.
every
That's
once in a
right.
while.
All right. So we'll see you next week with more Here's to Your Good Health. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.
Thank you.